I could have your attention in the media center, we're going to go ahead and get started with our media availability. We're now joined by Daniel Hemric, driver of the number 3 Smoky Mountain Herbal Snuff Chevrolet. Daniel, pretty big weekend here for you at Richmond with the Dash for Cash bonus and your first Cup start. Can you talk a little bit about your approach to this race?
Yeah, there's definitely a lot going on, to say the least. I definitely have a newfound respect for those guys that do double duty every week. It's been a lot to take in, but it surely has been a good time and a great problem to have, trying to figure out how to get to one place to the next and do it in a manner that you need to. So it's been fun. I think our 21 Southpoint Hotel Casino Chevrolet has been good since we got here. We've been trying to fine tune on to figure out what we got to do to try to make sure we have a shot at the end of tonight's race to run for the Dash for Cash and hopefully be able to help not only ourselves but a local organization, Co-Virginia nonprofit, that'll receive $10,000 from Comcast and Xfinity and help those families and everybody that's going to benefit from that. Be able to reach internet essentials, and that's the stuff they got to have. So that's cool. And on the other side of it, yeah, the Cup car just got out of it for the first time. It's been a lot of fun to be able to feel the differences. You can simulate and do all the stuff you want to do to try to prepare for a moment like this, but there's nothing like doing it, in real time. So having a lot of fun. Those guys have done a great job with our number 8 Smoky Mountain Herbal Snuff Chevrolet to allow us to unload, make me feel comfortable, let me go through practice, make changes, and do the stuff you need to do, feeling it all out for the first time. And I'm just trying to, more than anything else, just enjoy the weekend.
Awesome. Well, thank you. If you have a question, please raise your hand. We'll get a mic to you. All right, we'll start up here up front and work our way to the back.
Jeff Gluck from jeffgluck.com. Now that your Cup debut is really here, do you anticipate having any extra nerves or battling anything different when you get to race time tomorrow?
Heck, I'm 27 years old, right? So it's 22 years in the making to try to figure out how to get to this stage. I didn't know exactly how I'd feel. I thought I'd be a little bit more nervous than what I've felt. But I think between getting in the Xfinity car, having time on the racetrack, and then just running straight over and jumping in the Cup car, I think it's made the transition as easy as possible. And then it's by lap 4 or 5 on the racetrack, it was a matter, okay, I need more front turn, I need more rear grip, and all the basic stuff you try to ask out of a race car as a driver. So I think that's helped kind of calm the nerves, and staying busy has kept all that stuff kind of in check as well. And like I said earlier, it's been a lot going on, but it's been fun.
Matt Weaver, AutoWeek.com. 2 questions for you. One, who all from the family, your support group, who's all here to be a part of this?
Yeah, so obviously you remember them, Jake Indiana Carswell, a team that I drove super late models for out of the Woodstock, Georgia area for years and years. I was very pumped up to hear that they were able to make it out here. I got my dad and my grandparents, my mother, stepdad. I got probably 60 or 70 fans, family and fans in the grandstands coming tomorrow just to be part of the debut deal. So just really special because I have, at some point in the last 10 days, I've talked to just about every car owner I've had throughout the ranks that all somewhere along the way led to me having this shot. So it's cool to have a majority of those people here.
Is Brandon your spotter?
He is my spotter. Absolutely, thankfully.
I want to go back a little further in time. I had heard a story in passing going back to the Legends Million that nearly didn't happen because did you have like a car issue on the way there or something? Is that true?
About ran out of gas.
Okay.
Didn't have enough money to buy gas to get there. Yeah, I remember Don Hawk when we won the Legends Million that night. He asked me, he says, "What are you going to do?" I said, "Well, I got holes in my tennis shoes, and I'm going to take the gas out of the race car to put it in my Honda to get home because that $250,000 check didn't go through for a couple of weeks." So it's little stuff like that makes you appreciate this weekend.
Yeah, so that's my question: is how close were you to not getting there, and how different is your career if you don't win that, because that kind of propelled you into the national spotlight?
Yeah, I think at the time, that being broadcast live on national television, and obviously Bruton Smith involved and Marcus Smith, everyone at SMI, and they did that as big as possible, right? And when you do that, obviously the word of mouth and everything travels, and it made that event even that much bigger. So obviously to go on and to win that race, it just put me in a different spotlight. You're always and forever be known as that guy that won that one-time race. So it definitely pushed me in the direction I needed to go. But even after that, I didn't know what that path was. It was just a matter of, hey, if opportunity comes from this, I'm going to have to take whatever is available, and that's kind of the way it went. That led me towards, driving for Jeff Foltz, and then down the road to drive for Cars and Motorsports, Hoyt Nemus, Rich Clark, all the different people that are here this weekend. And yeah, I mean, that race definitely didn't hurt any of that stuff, but a lot of other stuff had to fall in place, and that's kind of been the story of my entire upbringing is, not knowing the path or having a path set in place. It was just taking whatever opportunity and making the most of it, and that race led to a lot of opportunities.
We're going back to Jerry, and then to Chris and Lee.
Jerry Jordan, KickTheTires.net and PRN. Last weekend, kind of a roller coaster of emotions for you. What were your thoughts when you after the race, you found out you wouldn't be in this, and then now you are in this, and what do you think? What went through your head?
Yeah, there's a lot that went on in that probably 12-hour span. We went through the race. We led laps, had a really good car, and we faded at the end of the race. And luckily, we had a short run that led us to have an opportunity to lock ourselves into the Dash for Cash. All to find out when we get back, those guys get through tech, I get changed, just to find out that, hey, we're not in it. So that was disappointing, and I thought it was a little interesting because the way it was put out immediately was, I believe it was a measurement violation, and it wasn't strictly a rear toe or a skew or none of that stuff. So I thought NASCAR was a little on the fence about how to word it because they weren't exactly sure of the rule. And we carried on with business and tried to get a plan to figure out what we were going to do when we come to Richmond as a team, and started the process of maybe or maybe not appealing it. And that's when we got the call from Wayne Alton the next morning. I know Wayne personally called me at about 8:30 that next morning and said, hey, man, I first off want to apologize to you personally, and secondly, let you know that you're back into the Dash for Cash. All your results at Bristol stand. And then he went on to explain the difference of only one side being out versus the other, and it wasn't to an extreme that puts it into that L1 range or L2 penalty range. So not the phone call I expected to get at 8:30 Sunday morning, right? It was still on a pretty downhill slide from the way things and the results and the way it all had went down Saturday. So definitely turned my Sunday into a good day, and we're thankful to be here racing for Dash for Cash again.
We'll go next to Chris.
Chris Knight, CatchFence.com. Daniel, what's a realistic expectation for tomorrow night for your Cup debut, and how do you feel about the Xfinity car? Do you feel like that a win is around the corner for RCR?
Yeah, first off, talking about tomorrow's Cup debut, I think coming here, I wanted to first off get through practice, right? No issues. Just try to be smooth, try to be solid, and I feel like we've done that. But now we have qualifying ahead of us, and that's the next goal. But in the race, I think if we can get a decent qualifying position, I'd like to be able to see ourselves at the end of 400 laps, being able to compete inside the top 25, top 20. I think if we can do that as a group with, it only being, a one-off race right here, obviously knowing we're going to come back at it again in the fall at a road course, but, it's tough to do. It's tough to bring guys out of the shop and know what the expectations are. So that's why I said we got to take it a step at a time. That's what we've done so far. I think if we can run inside the top 20, we hit a home run.
We'll go next to Lee.
I think I left out part of your question there, Chris, about the Xfinity car. Yeah, I think I told everybody this week that I talked to media-wise that I think we've done all the right things as a team to be that much better every single week. And as we've done that, that's put us in a situation where we're leading more laps. We've got more speed through practice, through qualifying. And when you do that, that's what you have to do in order to even deserve to win races. I don't want to win races off fuel mileage. At this point, I'll take it whatever I can get. But what we're doing is allow us to win when we do win, and win on speed. And that's something I'm proud of, to see the organization take that turn. And I think we're still that much off, but we're close enough now to kind of, I guess, pounce on somebody else's mistakes, and we've done a good job putting ourselves in that position to take that chance if we're put in that situation.
Do you feel like you're bucking the trend being a rookie at 27?
I think so. A little bit. I saw where Jeff Burton told Ryan Preece last week he won his first Cup race at 30 years old, so that gave me a little bit more confidence that I was on the right path. But yeah, I mean, it goes back to what I was telling Matt. I never had a path or an age set or whenever I want to get there. I've just been fortunate to be able to continue that uphill climb, and I know the trend is 17, 18 years old, you got to be in a top 3 series and doing it full time, but I'm just doing it the way it was provided to me and trying to make the most of it.
And in a sport where we're seeing a lot more buy rides, you've just been able to hold your own by coming in and performing. Is there still a path like that for people who potentially would like to get in through late models, through dirt, whatever?
Yes, it's not going to be easy, but the path, I feel like I've proven that it can still happen. If you had asked me, I'd be in this spot even 2-3 years ago, even when I was running trucks. I said, there ain't no way. I'm going to continue to get older, and I'm not sure how to put myself in any better position. It's just making the most of that opportunity. So I think that's no different than the mindset I had through short track racing, through late models and all that. It's making the most of that. And, you know, at the end of the day, nobody knows your story better than you know it. So I know what I put in. I know I put the effort in. And I always said if it didn't work out, it wasn't going to be because of me or because of lack of effort, that I was going to do my part. And if it worked out, great. If it didn't, it wasn't meant to be. And fortunately, here we are.
We'll go next to Claire.
Claire B. Lang, Sirius XM NASCAR Radio. You've raced with Cup drivers in your show. How different do you think it will be at Richmond at night with the, you know, Monster Energy NASCAR Cup Series versus the Xfinity Series in the way that they will race on a Saturday night at Richmond?
I just think that all those guys are really good. I think that's the difference is, you know, the disparity between, you know, between first to 30, whatever, in the Xfinity race is pretty big gap. I mean, at times, especially depending on the racetrack. And when you take that next step, and even in practice, I've noticed it being around other cars on the Cup side, that is shrunk way down. So every little thing, all the little details that you focus on the Xfinity side, but now you're going to be the one that can also make that little bitty tiny difference. So you got to make sure you do your part. And those guys, everybody's just good. So I think it's just a matter of racing them the same. I don't think they're going to they race any different even when they come race with us. It's just a matter of the field's that much tighter when you get to this level. And you know, what mistake either you or your team makes that could cost you 2 or 3 spots on the Xfinity side will cost you 10 or 15 on the Cup side. So I think that's going to be the biggest thing I got to pay attention to, and it's probably going to catch me off guard at some point during the race, and just got to be ready to capitalize or just move past it.
Are you thinking that the Xfinity drivers are more aggressive, or that they're smoother on the Cup side, less aggressive, aggressively smooth, or what?
I think aggressively smooth is a good way to put it. They know, just like any form or any racetrack we go to, right? Restarts are key and all that stuff, but they also know they're going to run 400 laps. The pace for the Cup car obviously falls way off compared to the Xfinity car because of the power and all the difference between the two series. So, you know, most of those guys, my crew chief on the Cup side reminded me a minute ago, I was trying to find speed. I was trying to figure out what I needed to make more speed, and he said, let me remind you, man, you're racing against guys that are 200, 300, 400 starts into this deal. So he's been trying to keep me in check on that, but as a racer, you want to figure out how to be better. But, you know, it's been cool to have a lot of really good guys to lean on, you know, between my teammates, Austin and, you know, and Ryan, and same thing with Kyle. I've reached out to Kyle a couple of times this week trying to figure out what I need to be decent here, and all those guys have been gracious enough to help me, and I reach out to them for a reason because they're the best at it.
Do we have any further questions for Daniel? All right. Well, oh, go ahead. Caleb.
Caleb Whistler, Kicking the Tires. Kind of looking at the Xfinity series, what does it mean for you to have a sponsor like Xfinity promoting you guys and being here every week on the track, at the track?
Yeah, it's everything. I think their involvement speaks for itself. I mean, we're running 4 races here back to back, paying $100,000 not only to us, but $10,000 to every local community to help that low-income family housing, you know, reach internet. All that's huge, and to know that they have that much support and how much they let us be ourselves, but also push our names and try to do the right things to help us and the sport move forward, that's huge. So to know that we can be a part of a series and have Xfinity and Comcast and their support, it's unbelievable to know that they're behind us like they are. So as a driver, that makes you go out, that makes you want to push their product, it makes you, you know, make sure you're proud of what they do and what they represent. And I'm definitely thankful to be here and part of the Xfinity series.
Any further questions? All right. Well, thank you so much, and good luck this weekend.